Hello and welcome. We're glad that you're able to join us for our community prayer time. We are presently not gathering in our Dayspring Chapel until it is safe to do so. Yet we continue to pray together from different places. We have begun the liturgical season of Lent, 40 days in the Christian calendar that begins on Ash Wednesday and takes us into Holy Week and finally to Easter. Traditionally, Lent is a time of preparing our hearts for the resurrection through self-reflection, generosity, prayer, and simplicity. Here at Daybreak, we will focus our Lenten reflections on God's hidden work. This has been a challenging year for many of us, and like the dark days and the cover of snow, it is hard to imagine that something is happening beneath the earth that will spring forth new life in just a few weeks. It is our trust in this cyclical rhythm of the seasons and in the faithfulness of God that keeps us living in hope that there is growing happening even though we may not see it. This is God's hidden work. We traditionally begin our gatherings by remembering members of our community, our family and friends, who are no longer with us, but continue to be present with us as our community of saints. Now I invite you to take a moment to allow the bell to call us to prayer.
I hear a bird chirping up in the sky. I'd like to be free like that, spread my wings so high. I see the river flowing, water running by. I'd like to be that river, see what I might find. I feel the wind a-blowing, slowly changing time. I'd like to be that wind that swirl and shape the sky. I smell the flowers blooming, opening for spring. I'd like to be those flowers open to everything. I feel the seasons change, the leaves, the snow and sun. I'd like to be those seasons made up and undone. I taste the living earth, the seeds that grow within. I'd like to be that earth, the home where life begins. I see the moon arising, reaching into night. I'd like to be that moon, the knowing, glowing light. I know the silence as the world begins to wake. I'd like to be that silence as the morning breaks. I hear a bird chirping up in the sky. I'd like to be free like that, spread my wings so high. I see a river flowing, water running by. I'd like to be that river, see what I might find. I feel the wind a-blowing, slowly changing time. I'd like to be that wind that swirl and shape the sky. I smell the flowers blooming, opening for spring. I'd like to be those flowers open to everything. I'd like to be those flowers open to everything.
we have been studying the Bible together, haven't we?
That's right.
Whose idea was it, Chris?
Me.
That's right. And you keep me to task on it. You keep me always on my toes, not only with faithfulness to read the Bible, but with your calls, because sometimes I might be late or distracted, and I get up and then start. So we talked about rain. We talked about rain, and we talked about how rain is good. We know that a seed can't grow, things can't grow without rain, and rain can be a lot of fun. Do you like the rain? Have you ever had plans for a picnic spoiled because of the rain? Right?
I think so.
Yes.
I think not a picnic, but maybe I was going to a water park.
Yeah.
I was going to go to a water park with Chrissy.
Oh, yeah.
And it got canceled.
You and Christy were going to a water park, and then funny because the rains came and you couldn't go to a water park. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
The rain down here, the water down here is okay, but the rain from on top wasn't such a good thing. Chris, we picked that second verse of scripture from James because I liked the way it builds on in the psalm. The psalmist is talking about water and rain being God's gift to us because we know we wouldn't have life. To tell you the truth, Chris, you drink more water than anyone I know besides my grandson. Anybody who remembers you from Mondays at the Day program or the gala, what you always have in your hand is not a cell phone, but a bottle of water, right?
Yeah.
And you would empty it once or twice while you were there, while you were at the program. So water is important to you too, right? We all need water, right? It's a part of life. Water, rain makes the plants grow. What are some ways that you think, what makes us grow? What do you think makes you grow or me grow?
I think the pandemic had us grow.
Helped us grow?
Yeah.
I think so too, because I think we actually get more time to work in a concentrated way than before the pandemic, right? When you would just be there on Mondays and there'd be like lots of stuff happening and the day would just fly by, right?
Yeah.
And just like Maggie mentioned, I think in the general conversation, she has appreciated that there's something happening in her community and she's going to be able to participate because although she's in quarantine, she will be able to participate because it's by Zoom. So we can't, you and I can't see each other in person like we would like to, but we can see each other because you're faithful to call me on your phone by Messenger and we go through Bible verses together, right?
Yeah.
You like to garden too, as I remember, right? You were telling me about gardening.
Yeah. I do gardening at the farm.
Is that at Windreach?
Yeah. I didn't do it last year because of the pandemic.
You didn't like it because do you think
I didn't do it last year.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But when Windreach opens again and we're able to be together, whenever that might be, you'll probably do more gardening, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think there's another way that we grow, Chris, and it's a little bit to do with the phone calls that we have. I remember one time when we were talking about the Bible study, and for the rest of you, um, Chris wants to read the whole entire Bible. And if anybody's opened a Bible recently, it's a really big book. And Chris, when I try and get you to go to like take shortcuts or there it is. We
because
Bible, we can follow along. So
because the Bible is a big book.
it's a really big book, but you haven't wanted to skip anything. I finally talked you into maybe taking a break from Leviticus so we can concentrate on Jesus, because you've had a lot of good questions about the stories. But what you told me at one point was how the reason you wanted to start studying the Bible was you wanted to know more about God, and you knew that that was going to teach you more about yourself, right?
Yeah.
And do you think that's happening?
I don't know, but I think it will happen.
Yeah. Well, feel like I have a little sneak preview, and I'm pretty sure it's already happening, Chris. We have some great conversations, and I really appreciate your being willing to grow, because one of the things that the water and the rain is what helps the plants to grow. But what we know and what we experience in community, which is what we all long for, is that we grow in our relationships too, right? Grow because we see things in each other that we don't see in ourselves.
Yeah.
So when you read about God, it tells you more about yourself. But also when you have been working on friendships, that also helps you know more about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because people will tell you things that you didn't realize, because you're just being Chris and I'm just busy being Bonnie. But we've become good friends. We've been to movies. Look forward to that again sometime, right?
Yeah.
Even if it rains, Chris, if the first day we're allowed to be together again and it rains, I'm just going to put on a yellow slicker and an umbrella. Big tall rain, go out anyway. Do you think there's anything else you want to add, or should we see what other people are thinking about rain and what it is for them? And one more thing. Remember me telling you that story about when I was little, I was afraid of storms? Rain often comes with storms. And in Ohio, where I grew up, we used to have even like tornadoes and things. And I remember I had a friend that was afraid of storms when I was really little, like 4, and I was afraid of storms too. And I remember my dad sitting me on our big front porch in the parsonage where we live. He sat me on his lap and he talked to me about the elements. Specifically in the storm, he talked about the wind and the rain and the lightning. And he said he loved them because they were necessary for plants to grow, for even for seeds to be scattered by the wind. But the other thing he told me, and I never forgot it, trees need wind or they do not grow strong roots. So no matter how much water you give a tree, it's not going to be a strong tree unless it's got wind. And after he told me that, I lost my fear really of wind. And I kind of feel like that too. The rain and the wind, especially, make me feel small and make me know how big God is. Because God's pretty big, right? Like a big giant book's worth. And that's just the beginning. So let's open it back up to our friends.
Thank you.
Okay. Our Father,
Word
who
in
in
heaven.
heaven, hallowed be thy name. Will be done on earth as it in heaven. Give our daily bread. Give us our trespasses. Give those who gift us. Is not temptation. Is from evil. For those the kingdom, power, and glory, never, never. Amen.
Down the mountain, the river flows, and it brings refreshing wherever it goes. Through the valleys and over the fields, the river is rushing and the river is here. The river of God sets our feet a dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice for the river is here. We rejoice for the river is here. The river of God is teeming with life, and all who touch it can be revived. And those who linger on the river's shore will come back thirsting for more of the Lord. The river of God sets our feet a dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice for the river is here. We rejoice for the river is here. The river of God sets our feet a dancing. The river of God fills our hearts with cheer. The river of God fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice for the river is here. We rejoice for the river is here. We rejoice for the river is here.
Everybody.
I love you, Runa.
Bye. Bye,
Bye,
Stephanie.
everybody. Happy
Bye, everyone.
Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you.
Maria.
Bye.
Forever and ever.